What's up? How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Up North Live. My name is Jeff, and usually I'm joined by my co-hosts Isaac556 by 45 and Andy from DrinkUP, but unfortunately they couldn't make it tonight, so it's just me and you. Who's ever here that wants to listen to me talk or ask any questions in the chat, anything about maybe previous videos that I've posted or anything related to the stuff that I am doing up here in the UP. Got a few stories I wanted to go over that interested me and just talk about what I have coming in the future for my channel here. So I see we had Sophie. What's up? How's it going? Is that what I think it is? And she's talking about my original thumbnail uh, for the live, which was Rainbow Mountain in Peru, where she is from. Let's see. We have Lord Fellhand, 1695. This is the cool kids table? Probably not, but thanks for being here. Absolutely. Thank you. Anthony Shaddix, what's up, Tony? Thanks for being here, man. Appreciate you. We got Wiggly Mufasa, hail. Lord says if, and Anthony says hi, Sophie. All right. Yeah, wanted to talk about this. It came across my news the other day. Some Bronze Age swords and arrowheads dating back almost 4,000 years are seized by Custom Border Patrol in Philly. So, considered cultural artifacts, these items were imported to the United States without proper permitting and were likely the product of illicit excavations of burial sites. Yeah, you can see here all these different swords and spearheads and stuff. They got a whole bunch of them. I can't believe. It's a good thing they caught them, but it's a tale as old as time, or about 3,600 years anyway. U.S. Customs and Border Protection on Friday announced the seizure of 36 Bronze Age short swords and 50 arrowheads following their arrival in Philadelphia in October. Considered cultural artifacts, the items were imported to the United States without proper permitting and were likely the product of illicit excavations of burial sites, federal officials say. Now, they may soon be returned to Iran, where they are believed to have originated and date from 1600 to 1000 BC. I don't think that would be a good idea to send them back there, especially right now. They might be better off just staying in the States, to be honest. At least they'll have some people looking at it that might care a little more about it right now. CPB tries to repatriate them to rightful owners, in which case it would be the country, said agency spokesperson Stephen Sapp, so they can retain a piece of their cultural history. Bronze Age is considered to have spanned from 3300 to 1200 BCE, a historical period during which the bronze and alloy of copper and tin was prevailing metal used for making weapons and tools. What is today considered Iran was a pivotal area during that time, serving as an important trade route connector and bronze producer. Another question is, where did that copper all come from? Question that's been asked on this channel many times, because there was more copper mined in Michigan's Upper Peninsula than we have accounted for thus far, and there has been more bronze tools and artifacts found in Europe and the Middle East than they have mines and copper mined to make that much. So yeah, let's see. Yeah, so they arrived on October 16th. Yes, October. What they said last Friday. Via an express delivery flight from the UAE, having been mismanifested as put as metal decoration articles, CBP officers went on to X-ray the shipment and discovered objects that resembled swords, prompting them to open up items. Inside, they saw what appeared to be ancient-looking swords and arrowheads covered in teal patina of oxidized bronze. Suspecting the items to be of antiquity, the officers detained the shipment for additional investigation. CPB officers worked with the Antiquities Unit of the department's National Targeting Center to determine the historical and cultural value of the swords and arrowheads. That unit sought assistance from an archaeologist associated with the unnamed Philadelphia University. For more information, the archaeologist later pegged them as hailing from what is today the northeastern area of Iran, dating back as far as 3,600 years. Yeah, like I said earlier, you might want to hold on to those for a while and not send them back to Iran right now. Let's see, Shaman. What's up, Jason? That's fun. That find is wild. Was it just a random search? Yeah. From what I read so far, they they scanned it with the X-ray, and they're like, "Oh, that looks like swords." So they opened it up. Let's see. Investigators also reached out to the person who imported the items and found they did not have the documentation that would allow them to obtain the objects. As a result, even if the items were legally purchased, they were not able to be lawfully imported into the United States. Man, a lot of rules and laws around doing anything like that. I mean, I can understand for the historical relevance for any relics and ancient tools, but I don't know. Too many rules, too many laws. Taxation is theft. That is a key. That is a key thing. If it is considered an artifact or historical or cultural property of a country, that country has to permit that commodity leaving. Sapp said. Generally, you are going to be able to find there is a black market or market. Period for all things. Yep. And that, at the same time, it is kind of sad how many artifacts are probably lost to the black market in private collections throughout history. Grave robbers, even I'm sure there's still to this day archaeologists on digs that grab something small enough to put in their pocket or smuggle away and then sell it to anyone that'll buy it without any permits or paperwork needed. Let's see. Sapp added that no criminal charges have been filed in the incident. However, he noted the importer is known to investigators and lost the shipment as a result of the investigation. Okay. See, we aren't going to give an archaeologist a day or two to look at this stuff. They need to be able to make sure they are accurate to the best of their ability. So when they give their determination, we can trust that to be truthful. Now, CPB officers will hold on to these items until the agency issues a disposition order. When that will happen exactly, Sapp said, has not yet been determined. Yeah. I think they should, since they have these in their hands, maybe take a little chunk out of each tool and test the copper and test the metal to see where the copper came from. Because with isotopic testing, you can figure out it's almost like a thumbprint. Each area of minerals, they say, is copper, tin, arsenic, anything. It's like a fingerprint. You can almost identify the exact location of where those minerals came from. And it'd be awesome if they just kept testing Bronze Age materials, and because you test one or two here and there, you can get a general idea. But if you test a lot of them across the whole spectrum, you might find some that came from Michigan, but we never know. Never know until they do it. Let's see. Nerd Slap. Hey, what's up, brother? Thanks for being here. We have Anna S9776. They'll never be seen again, like so many artifacts. It probably, yeah, like I said, as well as the article said, black market stuff just completely disappears. Let's see. So my last video that I uploaded on my channel was Vikings, like my edited video, not a live stream. Was did Vikings sail the Great Lakes? Ooh, wrong button. And I want to thank everyone that has watched it and shared it. Hit the like button, and even to the new subscribers, because it went pretty viral. I mean, I can't thank everyone enough for subscribing and watching these videos that I'm doing. I absolutely appreciate you all. But no, so this video that I made did as much research as I could in the time I had. There's so much more that I want to get into with the Viking stuff, but I'm going to wait until probably later in the year when the snow melts, because I want to travel into Minnesota. I want to go to the Runestone Museum and check out some of the tools that I had shown. Like, I think the Beardmore relics, I don't know if those are hidden somewhere. Last they were in the Royal Ontario Museum. But I mean, according to people, these are all areas of where Norse tools or Viking tools and knives, swords, axes have been found. So there's definitely something I want to get more back into that. Go out in the field in some of these areas, maybe go metal detecting, go hunting. But again, I can't thank you all, that everyone that has watched that video, and even I had so many comments on it too, so it's great to have the interactions with all people, their different theories, tons of different theories in there, and there's a lot of people also saying it never happened, which, I mean, we're gonna have arguments like that, but hey, that's how it goes. You can't all agree on everything, even if there is a sliver of truth or not. Corn Boy, what's up, man? 2 weeks. I'll see you down in MegaCon, Orlando. Shaman, I would imagine there's probably far more in private hands than in public hands. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No, I mean, the stuff we see in museums, that's just things that the state got their hands on or someone donated their private collection that they had already. So, yeah, it's excuse me. Yeah, no, there's probably so many artifacts out there that prove certain theories and stuff correct, but because they're in private or black market hands, or they got destroyed and melted down back into the raw form. Who knows? Let's see. Lord Fellhand says, if your buddy Isaac lives in southern New England, has he ever visited the Narragansett Runestone on Wickford, Rhode Island? I do not know. I will take that down here. I'll save the comments so I can ask him about it later. He might be listening, so if you're listening at all, Isaac, jump in the chat and say yes or no. I definitely got to make my way out to the East Coast because I've never been out there. The only East Coast I've been is in Florida. So on the East Coast in Florida, which I like the Atlantic side better than the Gulf side. I know there's a lot of people like the Gulf side. I think the Atlantic side's a little nicer, but no, Narragansett Runestone. I can't remember. I don't think we ever looked at that last week or not when we talked about expanded more on the Vikings. Oh, I'm gonna chop up that spelling, even though it's right in front of me. All right. Wikipedia doesn't tell much. Chell, what's going on? Welcome, welcome. Okay. Rebecca, how's it going? Welcome, welcome to the show. We would love to have you. North Carolina is dope. I believe I've driven through the Carolinas and Virginia just on my way back from Florida, but I never actually spent time down there, unfortunately. But I will get there, hopefully sooner than later. I have all these plans and stuff I want to do this next year, but I can never fit them all into 1 year, so I got to learn to spread it out and try to make longer term plans. All right, so the Narragansett Runestone geological and aerial photo studies have shown this large meta sandstone boulder with its curious inscription ended up in the intertidal zone of the Narragansett Bay, just south of Pohack Point in North Kingstown. Most probably the result of erosion brought by the fabled 1938 hurricane. The earliest known eyewitness accounts of the inscription dates back to 1948, at which time neighborhood children began calling it Indian Rock due to the characters inscribed on it. This rock, as it was submerged from the majority of daily tidal cycles, was known only to the locals until 1984 when a quahogger working from his skiff noticed this inscription. He notified researchers interested in Norse runic inscriptions in North America, setting the stage for the numerous attempts at an explanation ever since. Some believe it is a record of a visit to Narragansett Bay by the Vikings or other Norsemen or Icelandic explorers, trappers. Still others a voyage by the Knights Templar. Possibility. Some believe is more likely rendered by immigrants in our area out of national pride in the 19th and 20th centuries. Now, the stone disappeared in 2012. It was recovered by the Criminal Investigation Unit of the Rhode Island Department of Environmental Management in 2013 and was installed here in Wickford in 2015. Although no one can say with complete certainty exactly by whom or when these intriguing runic symbols were carved into the stone, it is safe to say, as quoted from Professor Henrik Williams of Uppsala University in Sweden, the runestone is of considerable cultural significance to Rhode Island and New England, not the least because of the controversy, mystery, and even intrigue connected with it. And cool, interesting. Okay, so that's it right there. Let's see. That's the only picture you have here? Come on. Come on, give me a better picture. I know I saw one. Mm-mm-mm. Come on, where'd you go? Stupid. No, you can't just find something simple on the internet. You gotta dig, and there we go. So that is the inscription. I don't know. I assume it'd be hard to date stone that's been submerged most of the time. You can tell there's definitely weathering on it on this side over here. Hmm. I don't know. I'll have to keep that in mind and if I ever make it out there to check it out. See here, Anna S says, "Are there any mounds made by the mound builders in the UP? I haven't been able to find anything about it. So much UP copper has been found in the mounds here in Ohio." Yeah, according to everywhere you look, they say there are no mounds in Michigan's Upper Peninsula, which there are some smaller ones that I'm aware of, smaller burial mounds, but I believe I have found one. Well, I didn't find it, but it's always been there. The end of a lake in the area. I for years are been driving past this thing all the time, and one day I asked my dad, we were driving by, I said, "Hey, you think there's any Indian mounds around here?" Because we were right in that area, and he points, he's like that one? I said, "Precisely that one." So I got some pictures I took of it last spring when I went up there, if I can find it here. Thanks for the question. I appreciate it. Where are they? Oh, wait. I know what I can do. Moan research. I have it. It's right there. Okay. So I'm going to have 11 that. So it's pretty thick with the tag alders and smaller trees through here, but you can see it right here. And it's right at the south end of a lake, and it's if there was no trees in a clear day, you could probably see all the way up to the other end of the lake, and the lake's about 17 miles long. So you can see a little better here. And I've looked everywhere. I mean, there was a what do you call it? Is in the 1800s there was the first resort that was built on this lake. It was called the White House. This is on Lake Ogibic. It's called the White House. It was the first resort in this area. It was basically where all the lumber barons and mine owners and businessmen and women from Chicago and all that bigger cities would come up and spend the weekends. And they literally had to blast this or make this road in here, and there's nothing that it said anything about a mound. So I've searched everywhere and I cannot find anything about it. This is on top of it. This is Google Earth. You can see it's a perfect mound. That's LiDAR. Oop. Yeah, I would have to bet that it's definitely a man-made mound. And it's another theory that I thought that I had, because there's a road that comes through here, which is now snowmobile four-wheeler trail. And most of these roads and trails nowadays were all logging roads. So I figured maybe it was just like a sand pit or excavation site where they just piled up a lot of sifted sand and dirt, but it's not modern made by any means, because there's nothing you can find around it that would say so. Yeah, there's another view of it. That's a different spot, but I'm 99.5% sure that it's a mound builder's mound. But until someone digs into it, you won't know. Thank you for your question, Anna. I did do a video about 8 months back on my channel about, I went up there again about that mound, so go check it out. What's up, Jim? Let's see. Glad you survived the Uper GTA again. Yeah, me and my friends Andrew and Willie, we have our other channel, DrinkUP. We do Tuesday night video games, and we're doing some alien gas station store. It's fun. Fathers love when their sons miss the obvious, then ask. Oh yeah, no, he was definitely cheerful. It happens quite often. I work for him, so it happens all the time. Yeah. Thank you. Let's see. Yowzer, that is a long lake. Torch Lake, a mile from me, is 19 miles long, like a fjord. Okay, yeah, I got it. Jim, I'll be heading downstate next month. I don't know how long I'll be down there. If I have time to swing by and say hi, I will, but it all depends on how long I'll be down there. See, your mounds are a lot of times near water, so it makes sense. Yes, and there is the water that inlets in is the Slate River, which is about maybe 150 yards to the west of that mound, and there's also old maps that say it's an Indian trail. It's called the Slate River Trail. The Indians, Native Americans in the region, the Ojibwe, they used that trail probably even thousands of years before they were here. So yeah. And Chell, yes, Chell has been joining us as well. I'm sorry, buddy. It does appear to be on a plateau, Jim. Let me pull that up again. I showed this picture to Ricardo Calvario first time I met him, and he even said absolutely. He's like, he grabbed my phone, and he was spinning it around, and he's like, look at it differently, and I don't know, you could start to notice different features when you look at it a different. I don't know, it's just trick on the eye, but it's definitely a raised up area here all the way around it, and over here is just higher hillsides, and it goes down in the river, which is over this way, lakes up here, but yeah, no, it's big. You can't just hop in with a shovel and dig and find something. It would have to be excavated professionally with someone that doesn't want to destroy everything. Idaho Mike, good morning. Good morning to you, sir. Hope things are going well for you over in China. Thanks for being here. All right, what is the dark region on LiDAR? That's just the hillshade shadow. That's just the other side of the mound. It does that on certain features here. I'll pull this one up too. This is another cliff area nearby. Oh shoot! But you can see it seems like on the south facing rock faces, it tends to have that shadow on it. I don't know why. But yeah, like I said though, I'm not aware of any more mounds. I mean, this whole area was basically flattened from logging and mining starting in the mid to late 1700s with the explorations with Alexander Henry bringing his expedition across to better relations with the Chippewa in the area and then try to find gold and silver up in the Keweenaw Peninsula. But according to him, they only found copper, no large deposits of gold and silver, which he said, and I quote, because I bought his book telling of his journeys, he said, and I quote, how'd it go exactly? So, okay, not quoting word for word, but he said basically useless copper that is not justifiably it is not justifiable to industrially mine it for any monetary gain, which he was wrong. Let's see. Great seeing on Leighton Gay yesterday. Loads of laughs. Yes, I was on Leighton Gay with the GCA last night. Some friends of mine over there. If I had a mod in the chat, I'd have them drop some links, but it's just me tonight. So, yeah, no, that was a lot of fun. What area is it in again? It's in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. Here, here's what I'll do. I hit the wrong button. I will show Google Earth. It is on state land, so it's not on private property. This is the only place you're going to see this from me. Otherwise, I'm not going to tell anyone where it is. But I know exactly where it is. Okay. All right. So we have a peninsula here. And down here is Lake Gogebic, largest inland lake in the UP. This is White City, where the White House is, the first resort on the lake. And the mound is it seems they changed something up. There it is. No, that's not it. What the hell? Yeah, that's it right there. You can barely see it on there, but yeah, like I said, standing on top, you can see all the way up there. And then right up here at the end of the lake is the Trap Hills, which is basically the beginning of copper country. These ridges that run all the way up the Keweenaw Peninsula into the tip of the Keweenaw, Copper Harbor is. So we have the Porcupine Mountains. These are all copper bearing cliffs. This whole ridge all the way up. So the Ontonagon River goes through here, comes out in Ontonagon, but this whole region all the way through here, where all these little cities are, this all the way up to the very tip, Copper Harbor. This used to be, there was over 100 mines operating at one time in the 1800s and 1900s. And that's the same area starting around Mass City, Greenland, even in the Porcupine Mountains, and all the way up through here, littering these cliff sides, the ancient mine pits, up to 9,000 years old. So, which was the oldest known metallurgy in the world. We beat Europe. We beat Asia. But yeah, possibly up to billions of tons, or at least 500. They figure at the high end, I think 500 million tons of copper was extracted in ancient times before the copper boom of the early to mid 1850s. Yeah, pretty neat area up here. Let's see, Jim Fry, geological shadowing. I may need to research that some. We use various ground scan tools in our major construction. I am now assigned to a 2.5 billion chip plant in Arizona. Damn. God be with you. That's the way it is here. There are over 10,000 mounds and enclosures here in Ohio. Most have been destroyed by farming or gravel quarries. Yeah. And who knows what there was before all this started, because they, even when they knew what they were, they still plowed them over. I mean, a lot of people that had farmland. I mean, there's a whole area up here that's all flat, kind of like it's like a valley between cliffs that's about 100 miles, 80, 60 miles long. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head, but a lot of farmland. So heard Mo got into an accident. Jeff, don't know if you heard. Yes, Mo Zamboni got in a little fender bender, but he is okay. He needs to get rid of that car though, because it's cursed. Welcome. Didn't realize he had such a long lake there. It's impressive. Yeah, it's about average, I'd say. When I was a kid, I slalom skied across Torch Lake, jelly legs across. Yeah, I can imagine. I haven't gone water skiing in years. We should do that this summer, maybe. Went and saw the mines up there last year. Spent about 14 to 20 days in the UP a year. You were lucky to live there. Yeah, no, you can. I love this area where I live. If you can deal with the long winters, we say we have 3 months of bad skiing, and then in between in those 3 months, it's mosquito season. So it's not the easiest. I mean, you got to get creative, but there's so much to do if you're an outdoorsman or anyone that likes hiking or hunting, snowmobiling, four-wheeling, fishing, you name it. I mean, if you like the woods, you can walk 100 feet behind your house, disappear in the woods for hours, and then come back at the end of the day. There's a lot to do. People, I remember growing up, people were like, oh, there's nothing to do here. It's small town, nothing to do. It's boring. I was that same way. Moved away for a year, came back, realized how lucky I was to live here. So no, no mines up there. So the mine, there are mine tours from 1800s, 1900s mines. There's one in Greenland, I know for sure. A couple up in Houghton, Delaware mine up in Copper Harbor. Yeah, there's all sorts of underground mine tours you can do. They're pretty neat. I'd recommend them if you ever make your way up here. Jim, my solicitor, we should raid the Smithsonian's basement. Yes, absolutely, and get the Ontonagon boulder and bring it back home if they're not going to display it. If you don't know what the Ontonagon boulder is, it is was at one point the most famous rock in the world. Oh, it was found on the Ontonagon River. It was revered by the natives in the area as sacred, and their Gitche Manitou, their way to talk to their great spirit. And then the white men came along, found it, bought it from the Indians, took it out, finally got it out of the river after 3-4 years of trying. Almost had it taken by the U.S. government, was able to keep it, brought it down to Detroit. The guy that did it, can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he brought it down to Detroit as a and he had it just for viewing pleasure outside of his shop, 25 cents for a person to come up and get pictures with it, whatever. Then the government came in and took it from him, confiscated it, brought it to DC, where it was supposed to be on display. It was on display for many years. And then they put it in the basement. And it hasn't been on display in about 40 or 50 years. At the time in the 17 and 1800s, it was the largest known piece of copper. Excuse me, in the world. Let's see, decent video we're checking out right here. Yep, I have a video on that I put out about a month or so ago as well. So I'm definitely starting not only just the ancient copper mining. I'm trying to dabble into some UP history, just for written down history that we know for sure too. So because I don't know, I love it all. It's cool stuff between the mining and the logging, but I think it's gonna be mostly based on the mining and different theories and whatnot in the region. So yep, right there. There's my video on it. It's a good time. I had fun making that one. There was a lot I didn't even know about in the Ontonagon Boulder. I just knew it was found in the Ontonagon River where the Victoria Dam is now. And went to the Smithsonian and then wasn't on display anymore. And there's questions black fly F-15s up there. Yeah. Let's see. Jerdish, Ontonagon guy into the chat. Boulder. James K. Paul, great story. Thank you. Welcome. Ontonagon, nice. That's right in the backyard. Fellow Youper. Trump already melted it for the U.S. Strategic Copper Reserve. No, that's what they're doing all the pennies they're not making anymore. That still chaps my ass. A lot of the stores and gas stations around here, it's like, oh, they stopped making the penny. We're going to stop using pennies. That's not what it means. Just because they stopped making it doesn't mean you got to stop using. Oops. I don't know. Maybe there's more to it than I'm aware of, but it kind of angers me. Oh well. Let's see what else we got. What else can we talk about? Any suggestions? Any questions in the chat? If you have a question, you want to know anything about anything that I do, or maybe something I don't, any theories, anything. I don't know. Ask away. Haven't heard. So a friend of the show, Cody from East 10 Outpost, him and Aaron Hines have been down in Central America exploring some uncharted ruins. And I reached out to him earlier to see how it's going, but I haven't heard from him yet. Let's see if he put anything. See, here's Anthony had a cashier tell me they didn't make proper change or yeah, exactly. They couldn't make. Yeah, it's ridiculous. You know, it upsets me. Okay, here we go. Share screen. So pulled up Cody's page here. It says, if you want to hear about dumb crap we've been up to so far, make sure you tune into Dave's Multiverse tonight. Okay. There's Cody and Aaron. They're down there exploring ancient, apparent, unknown ruins, Mayan or whatever ruins down in the Yucatan, or I think it's somewhere in Mexico. Maybe not the Yucatan, in that area. Dave's Multiverse is where it's going to be at. Okay. Yeah, I'll set that up so we can send you over there when my show's done. Tony, yeah, I recognize those guys. I bet you do. Met them out in Arizona, the QuestCon. Okay, 7. Ooh. All right, cool. Jeff, your cash penny ain't nothing but trash. Checks out. All right, so today I went with my dad. We went snowmobiling up through some cliffs, kind of doing the snowmobile trails, they kind of wind through copper country and stuff, and scouting out some areas to check out when the snow melts for metal detecting and exploring. So I just took a quick little video when I was going through. I don't know how well it's going to come across, but you can't see much. You can see some of the cliffs, but it was really, really rough, and I figured it not a good idea to try to ride one-handed. Didn't get a whole lot done there, but yeah, no, we found a lot of cool ridge lines and stuff we wanted to check out when the snow melts, whenever that is. Could be next month, it could be 2 months, I don't know. What else we got? Yeah, so yeah, I'll be doing a lot of that, a lot more boots on the ground in the woods, metal detecting. Next month in April, I'm gonna be heading down to Wisconsin. There's some farmland along a river down there that appears to have some old, possibly Indian areas. We're gonna check out metal detect, so that'll be fun. I don't know if I'm gonna make a video on that or not, but I'm hoping we find some stuff because that'd be really cool. And then actually next week after this, I'll be in Florida for MegaCon in Orlando for a kind of like a Comic-Con type thing, big nerd stuff like that. So can't wait to see a lot of people down there. Juridish gatekeepers of the mountains in my neck of the woods. Any info or conspiracy theories in regards to the mountains being inaccessible. So yeah, the only other known possible mound that I'm aware of, especially near Ontonagon, is the Ontonagon Pyramid, as has been heard it's been called. And I think I know where it is, and we reached out to the owner of the property, and he emailed back saying no access to that chunk of land, and it's literally surrounded by the rest of his land, which is publicly available for public access. It's CFR compliant, so it's anyone can use it for recreation as long as you're not destroying or burning the woods or anything like that. But when we reached out to him, like, yeah, we want to come take a look at it, and we won't tell the location or anything like that. And he just emails back, says, absolutely not. I don't want anyone in that land. But the rest of my land is accessible. Go ahead. So it is kind of weird that he'd say absolutely not to that. Because I can understand it. The one theory that I think could be understandable is that if it did end up being an important mound builder culture site, chances are the state would probably take it away from him and try to give it back to the native tribes in the area, which probably weren't even connected to who were built in the first place. So I can understand that theory. But what bothers me is, like, we won't say where it is. We won't say a word. We won't even mention your name if you let me up there to take a look at it and explore around. Won't destroy any. Won't even do any digging if you don't want me to. I just want to check it out to see what my thoughts are, because I can't see anything that well on LiDAR or Google Earth that defines it very well as a man-made structure or not. But in this book, Prehistoric Copper Mining in the Great Lakes region, Dreyer and Du Temple, there is a journal entry of some explorers going up the Ontonagon River to a mine site, and they said they went past a large pyramidal-shaped mound on the east shore of the Ontonagon River. So if they're aware of it back then, I'd say that's probably viable that it could be real. As for any other mounds, I'm not aware of anymore. If you know any, Juridish, let me know, because I want to know if there are any more. Because you look anywhere, there's just small burial mounds that I'm aware of, and that's about it. Jim, I just watched a video on the folks of Mackinac Island with their electric snow sleds. Talk about range anxiety on an EV. Yeah, not sure. I know the electric. Yeah, no, electric, like ATVs, side by side snowmobiles. That doesn't sound like a very good idea, especially for a snowmobile in the cold weather. I know around the Upper Peninsula, Polaris started putting up electric chargers for electric side by sides and ATVs. It's like, okay, yeah, sure, environmentally friendly until you get in the woods and you get stuck in a mud pit and your battery dies because you've been spinning your tires. I just think that's a very bad idea. And I don't think anyone's used it since they put it in, so I think they're taking it out now. Yeah, on Mackinac Island too. Just take your horse-drawn buggy. I don't know. Have you ever done a deep dive into old newspapers or history books? That's what I've done here to find old ones. They even talked about buried pyramids here locally, and you just answered it with that book. Yeah. No, I'd like to get into some more physical, like libraries and stuff like that. I need to take an entire day and head up to some of the smaller towns in the Keweenaw, because those will be the places, if there's anything, even, yeah, even old land records and stuff like that. But mosquitoes are actually the most effective gatekeepers. Yes. No, one day I went out, my cousin and I, uh, we had to wear bug nets. Mosquitoes and black flies were so bad. Yeah, no, what do you got there? Is any more conspiracy theories of the mounds? I don't think I have any more theories off the top of my head myself. There could be more. I don't know. What I did start working on is actually I got it right here. I started making a video. Anyone in the local area that's interested in the mining culture or heritage history might be familiar with this book or story, but it's backwards, but Wall of Silver by Richard Kellogg. And I remember reading it as a kid. I'm giving you guys some spoilers right now. But I remember reading it as a kid, and I enjoyed the story. My dad bought it. He read it, said, give it a read. I read it, and that was 15, 20 years ago. So, and it's gotten lost since. And then someone mentioned to me in the comments of one of my videos about you were near the Wall of Silver. Like, well, I didn't know I was even anywhere near it. So I couldn't find the book. Went online, bought a new copy, read it in a couple hours because I was very interested in it. And it's a good story. Don't get me wrong. As for its existence, well, I guess we'll have to wait and see. But the person that did comment on one of my hunting for ancient mine videos saying I was right near the Wall of Silver, I wasn't. I was actually a long ways away from where the alleged Wall of Silver was. But so what the Wall of Silver is, a man came across a mine shaft in the 1920s when he was looking for ancient rocks or ancient valuable rocks and minerals along the ridgeline, and went inside and he found a literal wall of silver. And he spent his life just taking chunks off of silver, bringing it out and selling it on the black market through some shady mob guys in Chicago. And yeah, like I said, I'm gonna leave the rest for the video when it finally comes out. And I was trying to get it out by tomorrow, but I doubt it because I just started recording it before I went live here. But Wayfair, like and subscribe, good people. Thanks, Wayfair. Good to see you. Thanks. Lions Snoops like me can check it out. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so that's what I got coming up. I still have to make a video from my Egypt trip with Forbidden Frontier and Wandering Wolf. I mean, I have it all started. I just haven't pressed record on anything yet. I need to get to that. Hopefully, eventually here. What else do I got going? All sorts of stuff. Let's see. Yeah, well, have you heard anything from Luke Caverns? I haven't seen much from Luke Caverns in a while. I know he's somewhere. Let's see what he's up to. See if he has anything on Twitter. And I spelled his name wrong. Because I know someone said he was going on an expedition. Gila Gila expedition. Wow. Okay. Okay. I guess he's Expedition Gila, wherever. What is that? South. Oh, that's in the U.S. here. Okay. And northwestern Mexican state of Sonora. Okay. Well, hopefully he finds something. But other than that, I haven't seen any updates on his page there. Should popping in Fallout stream. Nice. Yeah. Pacific. No, he is not. What else did I have doing lately? One thing I did do is so this drone back here, I sunk it on like the fifth time I used it in a pond and it died. But I bought a new one. So getting excited for some more drone footage. Hopefully I can get better at it because I like adding the drone footage of what's going on around me and just get an aerial view of any of the stuff around me. That's always fun too. See what Dana saying. If you look history, whatever county, Ohio, Google, you'll find old history books you can read for free. Hmm. Can't remember the county, but the pyramid. Pyramid. Okay. Is that Ohio, Anna? The pyramid in Ohio, or let's see here. I know we have Miamisburg Mound. That's Stone Pyramid. Yeah. Well, they're not gonna. I know they have plateau pyramids. I don't know. Yeah. So it's kind of a, like I said earlier, just a short, kind of just talk about whatever and hang out with anyone that's here. Let's see, here's the answer. Let's see. Southwest Ohio, they found a digging for new waterworks in the late 1800s. Even had an archaeologist out who confirmed what they found. Okay. Late 1800s. Interesting. Let's see what they say. Yeah, you try to look up anything on the internet that says pyramid or American pyramid, like, well, there are no pyramids, they're all just earthen mounds. Like, well, it's still technically a pyramid if you think about it, just not made of two 2-ton blocks or 5-ton, 10-ton blocks. I have to try to find that, Anna. Notebook here, I'll write it down. Remember that. Should have had it over here. Okay. Is there anything else anyone in the chat, anyone watching would be interested? Any more questions about anything? Ask me anything kind of deal. I don't know. Figured just a filler episode, but I wanted to go live and I already had it set up to go. And although my co-host couldn't make it, unfortunately, I hope they're out there. You guys know you're out there. I know you are. Let's see, Jim Fry. My first video on my YouTube channel captures a hawk drowning my drone. I no longer fly on my own property. Too many territorial hawks and eagles here. Oh, that's terrible. I bet you that's some great footage though. Yeah, mine just shows it flying over a river and then all of a sudden it goes and you could just see it go into the water and then it stops. When I was flying it, because I had it on my phone hooks up to the remote control and I'm flying it about 8 feet from the shore, almost there. All of a sudden I recorrected a little too much and now here's a bzzz, and the screen went black. And unfortunately, it sat in the water overnight because it was near dark and we couldn't find exactly where it went in. But next day we went and got it. And of course, yes, I did make a video on that, which is on my channel as well. If you're at all interested in checking it out, it's a little goofier, but some of the drone shots over that beaver pond were pretty cool as the sun was setting. At least I think. Google makes it easy when you read the books that are scanned in. Search mound builders in the books, and it shows them all. Okay. So what do you do at the ski lodge? Mike, I bartend. I bartend there. I've been bartending up there for 7 years, but I've been working at this ski hill for 15 seasons, 14 seasons. Yeah, so I'm 31 now. I started when I was 16 in the rental shop, and I worked down there so I worked down there for 7 seasons, and then took a couple of years off, and then worked my way up to the second floor or third floor in the bar. So See what happens when you stay true and work hard, kids. Jurgis, great content, Jeff. Fun way to represent the UP on YouTube. So yeah, no, thank you, appreciate it. A lot of times, most of these live streams, we just kind of expand past the UP and do international theories or US theories and stuff like that. Because I don't want to just back myself into the corner as like, oh, he only does stuff in the UP. No, which don't get me wrong, I love doing stuff in the Great Lakes region, the UP, because that's my main key. But I do like the international theories all the way up to like the Younger Dryas, ancient civilizations, lost ancient civilizations, anything. Like even go back to Tepe, the pyramids, everything around the world. So that's kind of what the live streams are for. Definitely want to hit the UP for most of it though. But yeah, tonight's show we were actually going to kind of do something like this, but it was gonna have a little more structure with because Andy brought up the idea of maybe the Chinese got to America before Europeans did, which I've heard a lot of stories about it. Did a little research earlier, and apparently they had maps and everything. But that's gonna be next week's live stream if we do a live. So did Chinese make it here first? It all connects. Yes, it all comes back to the copper. Every theory, it seems like, truth or not, we don't know. Need to do more testing, need to do more digging, more people need to find stuff. But it all connects. Yes, it all connects. They all connect. You can get from the Atlantic Ocean into the Great Lakes. There'll be some portages, but you can do it. Do you get a free lift pass? Yeah. And I use it for the first time in 3 years on Sunday. And I got out and did some snowboarding. Probably the only time this year I'll do it because I work every weekend. And when I'm not working there, I'm working my main job during the week. See, Mogwai, what's up, Mark? Do you think the Sea Peoples and the Bronze Age were possibly connected to the Americas? There is that theory that they were. I haven't really delved too deep into the Sea Peoples. I know it seems like the main theory is that was most likely, if there was transatlantic trade with Europe and the Mediterranean, it would have been the Phoenicians, which could also be an offshoot, which the Sea Peoples could be connected to the Phoenicians. I haven't really seen anything, or I haven't really looked into it a whole lot. I do need to check that out for sure. But Mark, sorry I missed your call last week. I tried to call you back, but I gotta get you on here with Ralph. He'll be hopefully get some time off and we can set you guys up, have you guys on, talk about arrowheads and flint napping, stuff like that. We are the Atlanteans, George. There's a possibility. I believe, what was it in Plato's book he was talking about? There's a great continent beyond the ocean, which, well, that's us here. Do I think that we're Atlantis? I don't know. It's tough to tell because they think that they found it just up in where was that when I had Stig on? Back to Google Earth, just outside the Straits of Gibraltar. There. Son of a gun. What was it called? Cadiz or Cadiz, whatever the Spanish say. So there's a lot of people looking in that area right now, or some people are. So we'll see what happens on that. Azores, I don't know. I know Randall Carlson swears by the theory of the Azores, which, from what we've been able to gather, is the Azores might have, I believe, are a connecting point for tin trade from England and then possible copper trade from the States. I don't know. There's more to look into it. There's more, every time I try to get into a topic, I have more questions than answers. But that's how it goes. Mike's always a two-planker myself. Never tried boarding. Yeah, no, I was a skier up until I was 12 or 13, and then I got my first snowboard, and I never went back. Need to try it sometime. Let's see what else. Yeah, Snow Mogwai, Sea Peoples. Yeah, I'll have to. Yeah, I gotta look into Sea People sometime for sure. It'd be There's definitely some connection there. I know Carl Henke at the uh, Ancient Artifact Preservation Society conference last year in Harris, Michigan. He did a presentation on the sea people. It was pretty interesting stuff, but it was more or less going over the collapse of the Bronze Age in the Mediterranean. So, speaking of the AAPS conference, figure I should give that a shout out quick here. Hopefully, they'll be having a meeting soon. I believe I'll be joining them, so I'm trying to see what I can do to help out because I mean I had a blast. It's and sadly most of the board members and a lot of the speakers are getting up there in age. And the last 2 years I went, I was the youngest person there at 30 by probably 25 to 30 years. So at least hopefully I can get more people interested in it. It's in October 2nd, 3rd, and 4th in Harris, Michigan, which is by Escanaba, which is a larger town there. Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. What we got here? More questions than answers. Yep, it sure does, Tony. All right. So it's $225 for the weekend, 3 days. We got whoa, okay. Yeah, Lee Pennington, who was just on the Shaman and the Philosopher with Shaman and Ricardo Calvario. Keith Seelan is a good guy. I met him a few times. European presence in ancient America for mining and trade. And Jay Wakefield, New Fred Hold Ancient Copper Mining Museum in Baraga. They broke ground on a new copper museum in Baraga last fall. I haven't heard any updates on it since, which I thought it was a little late to be trying to get started on such a large building, but I don't know because it started snowing not too long after that. But also Wayne May, which anyone that doesn't know, Wayne May is the editor and owner of Ancient American Magazine. Smart gentleman. I've been hoping to get him on this show sometime, talk about like the Michigan artifacts, Michigan tablets, mound builders, and stuff like that, because he's got a lot of knowledge on that. Lon Krieger, interesting gentleman. Really enjoyed listening to him talk about his topics last. He wasn't there last year, the year before. Dwayne Kinnert, he's a native fellow that kind of talks about the spiritual stuff. But yeah, no, it's a good time. More, and they're still going to add more speakers and more events. So I'll try to stay updated on that. I'll put that link in the description below for anyone that's interested in going. Let's see. Franklin, Mr. Van Horn found it necessary to construct a tail race. There was a natural depression which gave being an old better river. What? Did I miss something? Oh, I think you're talking about the okay, I think you're maybe talking about the mound stuff. Unless something got cut off somewhere in there. I don't know what happened there, but trying to pace it. Okay. I was gonna say if you have anything you can email to me quick. You can email it to me and I can pull it up. Here, I'll put my email in the chat for the show. JeffUPNorth906 at gmail.com if you want to send anything of interest to me that you want me to take a look into. It's easier to follow a link or any full-on stuff there than it is to find in the comments on my videos. But okay, yeah, perfect. Yeah, send it on over. Pull it up. Let's see. That's an interesting button I clicked. Okay. Yeah, no, send it on over and I'll take a look at it. We're waiting on that one more conference coming up that I wanted to shout out to is a quest for ancient civilizations in Sedona, Arizona, which I went to the Scottsdale convention in was that no December, and that was fun. I had a blast. It's put on by the Wandering Wolf and what's his name? I forgot the main other presenter for it, but it's where I met a lot of the people that I've done stuff with, and that's where I met Tony at Sedona, May 1st through 3rd. 57 days. Claim your seat. We got speakers Praveen Mohan, Billy Carson, Derek Olson, Randall Carlson, David Hatcher Childress, William Henry of Ancient Aliens fame, Luke Caverns, Debunking Dan Richards, Oana Gyoko, and Cassie Coppersmith. You can do it either online, you can be there in person. I sadly cannot make it, but never know. Maybe even Graham Hancock will be there. But so I sadly, like I said, I sadly can't make it to this one, but they're also doing a bigger one, which they're going to try to do their yearly in Austin. And that's in October. And that one I am definitely going to make my way down to, hopefully, which is what? About a week, 2 weeks after the one in the UP here. So we'll have to see how much time I can get off of work. Try to drag my old man down there. He loves this stuff. Okay. Let's see. Not show everyone's names here. Okay, I'll just read off what Anna sent here. It says, Mr. Van Horn. Thank you. Mr. Van Horn found it necessary to construct a tail race. There was a natural depression which gave evidence of being an old bed of the river. Mr. Van Horn scooped off a little bit of the surface soil and, having been constructed gates by which to control it, turned the water of the hydraulic into this hollow, letting it follow the hollow river. In about a week, washing by day only, he had a tail race extending from the river almost to the mills. Here, an obstacle was met with the shape of a stone dam or dike. It was noticed by the workmen who were taking the stone that they were disposed in regular layers, and that about every 10 feet a new layer was discovered. Mr. Van Horn, finding this out, drove a stake where he thought the stone would cease, and at that very spot they disappeared. Professor Orton visited this and thought it would work of water, but the fact that several places boulders were found standing in position which could not have been regularly taken in nature and embedded in a very fine clay. Oh, sorry, I glitched out. Seemed to point it out as a work of man. The dam, if a section could have been made, would have been shown, and there was a shape of a pyramid. Above this, and also at the river, were found that it appeared to be ovens, having at the bottom a layer of charcoal, and above is calcined mussel shells. That's pretty neat. Okay. I didn't realize I still had that, but pulled up. But it's about Franklin, Ohio, which is in Warren County. Okay. Let's see here. I'll have to look into that. Yeah, it's only giving me just the regular moans. I'll have to look into that later. That's pretty interesting. Jeff is a robot confirmed. Ain't no clanker. Come on, man. Dude, MegaCon is almost here. Yes, Nerd Slap. MegaCon is 2 weeks away. Orlando, Florida. Going to be a great time. Cannot wait. I swear I'm not. Yeah. Can I say clanker on the internet? I don't know. Is that offensive to AI yet? Okay. See, that was from an 1800s local history book. That is a key. Yes. Yeah. I went to the local library in the town I live in, and I searched through everything that they had on local history. I even found, right here, the original book, History of the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, but it's the original manuscript. It's like that big, leather bound, and very fragile. So, and it only goes up to, I think, 1879 or 78 or something like that. So anything after that, it's I don't know, just like Ontonagon County stretched across the entire west end of the UP before it was split in Ontonagon and Gogebic County. And I was searching like hell, like, why is there no Gogebic County in this book? Well, because it didn't exist at the time. After 1900, everything seemed to change in what they wrote. Okay. Yeah, there was, seems like at the turn of the century, there was a shift in either discoveries of ancient artifacts in America that shouldn't be there. There was definitely a lot of forgeries, but there was also a lot of everything that is found that doesn't seem to be there. It's all fake. It's kind of weird that it's all around the same time all that stuff's found. But it wasn't just in one region in the UP or the Lower Peninsula. It was all over the Midwest because oops, as we know, westward expansion, people started farming more and newer tilling methods tilled up the ground, more deforestation, well, not deforestation, but just even just clearing trees and stuff like that. They're finding all sorts of stuff. But immediately the archaeologist in charge said, nope, it's all fake, all forgeries. Oh, well, we'll figure out. Hopefully, maybe someday we'll get some truth to a lot of stuff. I mean, there's no way that everything can be fake, you know, especially with the Michigan artifacts. I think they're up to 10,000. They figured they might have been like, oh, one guy planted them in 16 or 17 counties across Michigan's Lower Peninsula in the late 1800s. No, I'm not going to believe that. And there's even some that were found 50 years before we even lived. So the truth is out there. Exactly. I want to believe. Tony, we should go to MegaCon with such a little short this time around. Maybe Austin Sedor, San Antonio. Yeah, no, same reason I couldn't make it to the Japan trip with Wandering Wolf and Forbidden Frontier. It was too close to the Egypt trip and all these different conferences that I really spread myself pretty thin on. Let's just say Christmas for my family this year wasn't the best from their son and brother, but at least I was there. Wasn't there for Thanksgiving, but oh well. Hopefully I'll make it to Austin. Oh man, I need to make it to that one. That'll be fun. But well, I didn't have anything else on my end. I pretty much babbled my way through this hour, and I thank everyone that joined me. What I want to do, if they're live, yes, they are live. I want to send you guys over to Dave's Multiverse where he has Aaron and Cody talking about what they're up to down in the Mexico area. So that's for Dave's Multiverse. Head on over there. Let them know that JeffUPNorth sent you. I want to thank you all for being here. Had a lot more people than expected, so thank you all for showing up. Like I said, working on a new video. Sneak peek, Wall of Silver. Check it out. Hopefully I'll have it up maybe early next week. If not, it'll be up by next weekend for sure. So bear with me doing what I can, folks. But next Thursday, we'll be live here again, hopefully talking about Chinese in America, pre-Columbian America. There's a lot of different theories and stories about it, so pretty cool stuff. But yeah. Other than that, I have Drink Up, the weekend pregame tomorrow on Drink Up on YouTube with Angie, Andrew, and Willie. And then it's the weekend. I'll be working all week. And we'll see you back here next Thursday. So thanks, everyone. Have a great night, great weekend.